It was a dark and stormy night, the kind of night that made you want to stay inside and lock your doors. But Sarah had to go out. She was driving home from a friend's house, and the rain was coming down so hard she could barely see the road. As she drove, she saw a figure standing by the side of the road. She slowed down, and the figure stepped out into the middle of the road. Sarah slammed on her brakes, but it was too late. She hit the figure and the car skidded to a stop. Shaken, Sarah got out of the car and went to check on the person she had hit. But when she looked down, she saw that there was no one there. Confused, she looked around and saw a small abandoned house nearby. She decided to investigate. As she approached the house, she could hear strange noises coming from inside. But she ignored them and entered the house. The inside was dark and musty, and Sarah could barely see where she was going. Suddenly, she heard footsteps behind her. She turned around, but there was no one there. Terrified, she tried to leave the house, but the door was stuck. She tried to push it open, but it wouldn't budge. As she struggled with the door, she could hear something coming closer and closer. It sounded like a person, but she couldn't see anyone. Suddenly, the door burst open, and Sarah was knocked to the ground. She looked up and saw a figure standing over her. It was a woman, but her face was twisted and distorted. She reached out to Sarah, and Sarah could feel her cold, clammy hands on her skin. Panicking, Sarah pushed the woman away and ran out of the house. She got into her car and drove away as fast as she could. As she drove, she could hear the woman's laughter echoing in her mind. When she got home, Sarah tried to convince herself that it was just her imagination. But every time she closed her eyes, she could see the twisted face of the woman in the abandoned house. The next day, Sarah went to the police station to report the incident. But when she told them what had happened, they just looked at her like she was crazy. They told her that the abandoned house had been empty for years and no one had lived there. But Sarah knew what she had seen. And every night, she could hear the woman's laughter in her dreams. A constant reminder of the horror she had experienced on that dark and stormy night.